This is the story of my favorite photo I've ever taken, and I'll show it to you in just a minute. I had traveled to the suburbs of New York City in New Jersey, and I was staying with a friend of mine, but I really didn't know anybody around there, and I couldn't just hang out with this friend of mine all the time. She had a life of her own, but I was trying to sort of make a life of my own in this new town in New York City, and I had placed ads to do various photography work, and people responded to the ads. One was for PBS, another one was for someone who was making a dance instruction DVD, and I just shot like the cover and various other things for that. And I used only film at the time, and so I would take the train to New York City, and I would write down in my book, with pen and paper, the settings that I wanted to use for my strobes and for my camera, because I didn't want to mess up. It had to be right. And I calculated everything, and it would always come out decent. It would come out good. So that's what I was doing at the time. But this was a long time ago, so I might be a little sketchy on some of the memories. But this particular shot that I did I was just hanging out with a new friend of mine, and it was this girl. Can't even remember her name now. Let's call her Amanda. And she was from Bayonne, I believe, if that's a place near the suburbs of New York. I'm just gonna say it. She was from Bayonne. I hope that's right. I hope that's not completely off. And I don't remember how I met her. It was just somehow online. It might have been through MySpace or something like that. She wanted to hang out too, and we met up, and we I don't know where we met up. It's probably at a train station in Hoboken, probably is where we ended up meeting up, and then going to Manhattan and just walking around. But we also walked around in Hoboken, and that's where this shot was taken. The images that I took, they were fine. They were fine images, but when I developed them, I shook the toner, and you're not supposed to do that. That oxidizes the chemicals. So I had my camera with me. It was an old Niker mat. She wore this very antique, interesting dress. It's like black and white, or like black and cream. And she had these really straight hair that just hung over her face for the most part. And she only had one whole arm. One of her arms was missing, or amputated or whatever, from just above the elbow. And she would still use it to hold. She would hold anything or whatever, bags and things. She'd just hold them under her arm, and she would use her other arm, to do whatever she needed to do. And of course, just she was used to it and very self-sufficient. And we walked all over town, and she said she didn't want any pictures taken of her. And she was sitting on this cobblestone road and leaning against a wall. I don't know, I guess we had stopped to just hang out at this one spot. And I snuck a picture of her, basically her feet, and this dress, this fashion feature that she had going on. I was like, this would be a great shot, click. And I don't know if she really registered that I took a picture of her or not, because I was probably taking pictures I was taking pictures of other things at the same time, but I didn't get a picture of her head or her face or anything. And so that's the story of that. Now, afterwards, this is crazy. So we got back on the trains that we needed to get on to go to our homes back again. When I got to my train station, my local train station, to get off and go to my friend's house, I got off the train and I was like, how do I get back home? And I totally was lost. And I had no way of knowing, like, what's the address? What's the phone number? I had none of that information. I had no internet on my phone, I guess. So it was like the phones weren't that advanced. So I just didn't know what to do. And the only thing that saved me, but didn't really save me, or the idea I had was like, I need to get to an internet cafe so I can get online and look at these old emails and find out, the address and all this stuff, and use MapQuest to find it. But the coffee houses and the internet cafes were closed, and there was nowhere to go. This was in New Jersey, so it was, things closed down at a kind of early for some reason. And I went to a police station to see if I could use their internet, and they were just like, no, go away. I can't help you. And so I just walked on down the road, walked for quite a while, and then it just got dark, and there was no point anymore. I was just going to get more and more lost. And I just decided, all right, I'm just going to shelter in place. So I found a place to just lay down and sleep for the night. And I grabbed something to wrap up in out of a trash can just to stay warm. And I slept, and then the sun came up, and then I was able to kind of have a plan, and I found an internet cafe. I found the main street, like the main commercial street. And I was like, okay, I think I know where I need to go. So I found the internet cafe, got online, found the address, and got the directions, and then I was able to walk home to my host's house. And that was the end of that. Then I, shortly after that, I did my best to develop the film and scan it. And so it was one of my memories from being in and around New York City. All right, so thanks for watching. I'm going to go eat my food now.